think one of the most wonderful things about what's happened in the last 10 years around technology is it's given everybody the opportunity to set up their own business and don't feel they have to follow the traditional trajectory into work. You need to understand your pricing. The biggest problem that people come across is underpricing themselves, and they underprice themselves for a number of reasons. They haven't calculated the full cost of what it takes to deliver that service. It's a bit easier with products. So if you're building something and delivering it, then it's a little bit easier that way. But if you're delivering a service, for example, it's really important to understand that you need to price in your days off. You need to price in your investment in yourself or your business. You need to price in a few sick days as well. And overall, it's not just a question of how much can I charge. It's a question of actually what is the total cost of setting up and running this business. And that includes the things like paying for your accountant, and that includes the social media, and it includes the marketing. And what's important to understand about that is that a lot of the time, if I look at, say, my business, most of my time is actually spent marketing and not very much time spent coaching. So if you look at a business on an overall basis, understand how much of it is spent doing the thing that you're doing, and how much of it how much time has to be allocated to all the other areas that you need to do to run a business, and are you pricing that appropriately? The second reason that people underprice themselves is that they don't like to ask for money. It's a very personal thing. This is what I do. I'm giving you a bit of me, a bit of my time and my energy. Now can I have some money back? That's really hard. And that takes people back to being a little boy or a little girl and asking for some money. And if you had a negative experience around that as a child, and we all did at some point, at some point someone said to us, no, this doesn't leave you. It's still there as an adult. And certainly that's worth recognizing, because if you're going to run your own business, you need a healthy relationship with money. You need to price yourself properly. So how do I feel about myself? How do I feel about money? And how do I feel about money and myself is really important when you're self-employed. If you're going to work for a company, you have a discussion at the beginning, you say, what's the salary? And then you negotiate and they give you the salary. And then unless you do something manifestly stupid, that money goes into your bank account for the foreseeable future. So you have a level of certainty, you have a level of security around that money is going to come into your bank account. When you're self-employed, that's not the case. You often end up having to ask for money, and you have to have that conversation with each client. So understand that and make sure you get comfortable with it. And obviously, if you can't manage your personal finances, and your business finances are going to be challenging. So make sure you get on top of that. You need to engage with your business finances. You need to know where you're making money, where you're not making money, or even if you are making money, you need to understand the economics of it, and you need to engage with it. So we come back to money is not the root of all evil. It's just something that we have to live and work with. So have a healthy relationship with money. And if you don't, that's okay. Find someone that can help you with that. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult for your business to be successful. And it's also one of the things where people kind of trip up. They go, well, I've only just started. I can only charge this. And that's okay. But you need to have a process for saying, well, actually, I've been doing this for a year or 2 years or 5 years. I need to charge more. I need to ask more. And so you don't want to compete on price. There's this concept of the $5 shoes. So Charlie, if I gave you a pair of shoes and I said, here's a lovely pair of shoes, they cost £5. What do you think those shoes would be like?
Not great quality, I imagine. Worth £5, not a lot of money.
No, not a great deal. Anything else that comes up for you around those shoes? Would you wear them out for special occasions? Would you feel great about them? Would you trust them? What would you do with those shoes?
No, not necessarily. You just think you get what you pay for.
Exactly. All I've told you is the price, but already you have in your mind a whole set of stories and feelings about the shoes. So if you're in business and you're selling yourself and your services, you don't want to be the $5 shoes. You need to make sure that you're putting money in away for tax. You need to make sure you're putting money into your pensions. So this pricing thing becomes really important to understand. And that means going and getting some help. That may be an accountant, or it may be just a business coach and someone that can go, okay, have you considered all these things? So in businesses, we have this self concept of the 10 hats rule, which is there are 10 hats. You don't have, when you set up a business because you want to be a website designer or a photographer, don't forget you're your accountant, you're head of HR, you're head of all these different areas, you're head of marketing, you're head of sales, you're head of operations. And so either you need to do these things yourself, or you need to pay someone else to do them. And then you need to understand what's worth paying someone to do better than you could do, and how you value your own time. So these things are, someone needs to show you and guide you on that. And you need to build it into your pricing.